Hi everyone. When we talked about security, when I said security, most people think about network security. People talk about how to get data, tap data, get program to intercept your Wi-Fi access and things like that. So in their minds, or in most people's mind, security is network security. But if you look at the topology of security, we can actually divide security into three categories. One, obviously, the network security, where you focus on the network side of the security. The other one is the computer security or the host security, where you focus on the host or the computer itself. So there's the host, the network, and the third one is the application of the software itself. Let me give you an example. Suppose you have your computer and you have a virus in your computer. That's actually a host or a computer security. If you change your access or the permission of your host or computer, that's also computer security. If you do not upgrade your system, the operating system or antivirus, for example, that's also computer security. Now, network security deals with sending lots of data. We call it denial of service attack, or flooding the network. That's network security. You sniff or you actually listen to the network. That's also network security. Now, the application security is the application itself. So, suppose you have, for example, an internet banking. On the server side, on the banking side, they have the server internet banking. That's the application, not your computer, not the network, actually the application itself. And sometimes, and actually these days, most of the applications are related to database. So it is usually related to the database system. So when we talked about security, we can deal with network, we can deal with host, we can deal with software or applications. In my opinion, these days, the biggest threat is in application or software. The reason is that many people already understand network security, so there have been many security protections. You have all this encryption and things like that. But in terms of software, many software developers, they don't understand security, because in school we are not trained to understand security. We are trained to create a program, a functional program, but security is not of the concern. So let's look at several problems. If you look into your cell phone, your handphone, your mobile phone, these days mobile phones are just a computer. There are software in these mobile phones. You go to an ATM machine, that's also software. You go to new cars now these days, all these smart cars and things like that, there are software in these cars also. You go to your these days you have people with washing machine, they have also software. Even their fridge, they also have software and connected to the internet. So everything is software. Now imagine if you go to a hospital and you're treated, right? You look around and there are software running, monitoring your heartbeat, your blood pressure and things like that. Everything is software. So now let's deal with software. Now, software, there are many bugs these days related to software. Why do we have all kinds of problems related to software? Well, one of the experts says, there are three reasons. One, connectivity. In the old days, softwares are not connected, so you have a standalone software. If you want to attack this software, you have to go to the computer, the physical computer, and you attack it, physically in front of the terminal of the computer. But these days, most of the software are connected to the internet. So your software accessing, for example, controlling your house can be accessed to somebody outside your country even. So connectivity creates what we call attack surface. The attack surface is getting bigger, so the possible attacks are coming from all over the world. So connectivity is the problem. Second, extensibility. Most of the software these days have some kind of update. So you can imagine you're running a program, and then in the middle of using your program, and the program says, okay, there's an update of this software. What would you like to do? Most people, I would say, will click, okay, let's do the update. But you don't know what this update will do to your computer or to your software. It might fix some of the problems with that particular software, but it may create more problems in terms of your software. So extensibility is dangerous, but it is the common norm these days. The third one, complexity. If you look at the software these days, most of these software are big. Can you imagine long time ago, when I learned how to program computer the first time, the amount of memory is only kilobyte, 8 kilobyte. These days, even your cell phone has gigabytes of memory. So in the old days, you have to be very careful creating the program because you are limited amount of space, memory. Now these days, you create programs. You can create programs, click here and click there, it will generate programs for you. So you have millions of lines of codes. If you have, say, 50 million lines of code, I can imagine there are bugs inside this 50 million lines of code. You have like 5, 3, probably even 50 bugs. And some of these bugs are related to security. And we're going to witness more of these problems if software developers are not trained to learn about security. In the terms of software engineering, people talk about software development life cycle, SDLC. And these days we talk about secure SDLC, whereby in every phase of the software development life cycle, we put security. So for example, when we are at the phase of requirement, we have security requirement. There's a phase of design, we have secure design. Implementation, we have secure implementation, testing, and so on. Even in deployment, we have penetration testing before system is deployed, and so on. So these days, for software developers, you have to take security and you have to take software development lifecycle. So in the future, hopefully we don't have problems related to software.